Happy day, loves. Happy day. Okay, so I've had a lot of requests. A lot of you guys are like, could you please go into depth with the numbers? And yes, I keep telling you I'm working on it. I have to formulate all of what I need to say, making sure I don't use any word spells, all that stuff. So I go over this stuff like in my mind and I practice it. You know what I'm saying? So I think I'm ready. If I need to re-record this, I will, but I'm going to leave this one up, and this one's going to go on the website as well. If I feel I need to do a better one, I will. It's going to be a little lengthy, and I do suggest that you watch these videos, the ones that we have on Love Grows Gaia on the website here, on the front page, definitely. Watch and rewatch, because there's layers and layers of activations and codes. And as you guys are unlearning everything and learning to feel through and hear the frequencies around you and see the colors and vibrations and frequencies around you, the numbers have been popping out at everybody for a long time. So what happened was they're like, here, these are angel numbers. These are this is, you're syncing up. It's synchronicity. No, it's not. It's not angel numbers. It's not any of that. So the true law of one only applies to the numbers, okay? Law of one, meaning not we are one, that's hive mind, okay? You are the law of singularity in your soul code. Your soul is a unique code. There's nobody like you. Every soul is unique in the number formation that creates their soul's experience, everything like that, and that gets a little complicated. So this is like numbers 101. My next video, when I do decide to get it done, will be how to put the numbers together in sequences to make them build things, okay? And this is where your patenting system is going to come in, all right? Every patent that's ever been made is how something tangible is created vibrationally in the environment. So if you guys think about it, if you know who these numbers are, every single one of those patents you have access to build vibrationally with the numbers. So deep diving into the numbers, law of one means 0 is one being. 1 is one being. 2 is one living being, right? In its own singularity. And law of singularity applies to souls and complex when you start stacking these and they start creating consciousness and they start creating tangible matter, okay? So I've talked about rewriting this, and I think that I should, because as I go into detail about this a little bit more, it's going to make sense about probably why I should. So it keeps focusing and unfocusing. The number 0 is the divine feminine. It is the color hot pink in its own singularity. 0 is a womb, okay? So if that keeps happening, I'm going to have to do something about it, all right? 0. Just look at the 0 and you will see that it is a womb. Okay, it's a womb. I got all these markers here. Okay, so in its own singularity, if you look at a woman and a woman's body, and let me talk really quick about the waters above and the waters below, right? If you look at a woman's body, and I'm just going to draw a stick figure here, okay? The womb, the womb has its own water inside of it. Like when a life goes in there, this womb is separated. The water in this womb is separated from the waters in the rest of the body of the woman. Okay, so it's womb man, right? Womb man. That's where woman comes from. Okay. I had a way to erase this stuff and I don't know what I did with it. Okay. Yeah, I've been in the abyss for a couple of weeks, so I'm definitely I'm not drained, I'm not tired, it's just low energy that's there. Okay, so get something else to erase this. All right. Law of 1. 0 is the womb, okay? Number 1 is the penis. Turquoise, rod of illumination, Godhead law. So right away in the numbers, okay, what you are going to notice is that there is womb law and there's Godhead law, okay? I'm going to go over that real quick. So what I'm speaking about is universal law, okay? So there's a trinity of laws. This is your Stargate, your universal law of how you operate going up and down. So let me touch this first, because this is your baseline in your numbers, okay? So the Milky Way is a binary star system, okay? And it's spinning, and spinning, okay? And if you look at it, it's got all of these spinning around, okay? Binary star system, polarized. And what I'm talking about is you're one of these lines. We have a line. This whole system has a line that goes out. And if you look at the Milky Way, where it ends, that's all blackness, right? That's all black. And then there's other galaxies out there, other what we call flowers of life, okay? So the Godhead is a spinning thing. All of these things are spinning. It's constantly going in a circle, all right? And Godhead law, what happens is we travel up and down our source cords, okay? Which is what this is applied to. You are this little elevator that goes up or down your source cord. When you go up, you hit the Godhead, okay? When you go down, you hit the womb, the zero space, the blackness out there, okay? And all of the frequencies in between are layers of dimensional spaces, all right? Well, doesn't that look pretty? It's a little monster, I don't know. You guys, my drawings are primitive, all right? So every single line that goes out in the Milky Way is another line of existence with layers of dimensions and experiences. So you go up to the Godhead, you circle around, you collect a bunch of code, and then you come back down, you go to the womb, okay? And this is where the matter is. So the code, the numbers, the raw code, raw numbers by themselves are always circling around up at the Godhead. The matter, which is number 9. Number 9, darkness. You guys are like, oh, we're going to kill the darkness. Yeah, well, you're going to collapse your energy, the reality that you're in. But if you look at this, number 9 in its own singularity is matter. Raw, black goo, you guys. It has graphene. This black magnetic matter, this black liquid that you're being introduced to, okay, is 9. Number 1 is the Godhead. Number 6 is when you bring the code down, okay? So without getting too confusing here, let me get back to the numbers, all right? So right away, the very first number in sequence, the 0, this is your garden of life. This is your womb, okay? And womb law, there is law. That's why I write Godhead law and womb law. One of the womb law is your consent law, okay? So you don't see in your Merkaba, in your universal law, you don't see consent. Where's the word consent? Anywhere on here? You don't, okay? Womb law is number 9 going to come snatch that ass if you fucking break somebody's consent, you want to walk up and punch somebody in the face, you don't have to worry about whoever you just wanted to punch in the face. You better worry about number 9 coming up your source cord and snatching your booty for breaking consent law. Okay? So, number 9 is matter. All right? Now, what it activates in your Merkaba, 0 is the womb code for the uterus of the womb man. All right? I want you to also notice something here. There are 2 zeros. There is an inner 0, just like a woman. She has her outside body. That's her outside body. Same thing with the man. You guys have the same frequencies. You are just going to operate in either a male or a female body. Okay? And one is not going to be dominant over the other within you. All right? But there are 2 zeros here. And I want you guys to pay attention to the geometric shape of your Merkaba, how you move up and down that source cord, okay? And the only other place that you see a 0 on your Stargate is 10, Law of Evolution, right? So there are 3 zeros here, which gives 0 womb the heartbeat. 10 in your Law of Evolution, then you've got this 0 out here, and you've got this 0 right here, okay? I'm going to have to... Womb law, 0, divine feminine. Now, 0 and 1 are the only time that these really stand in their own singularity. Every number after that, because you're going to have your merge in number 2, and then they meet. You have the divine masculine, divine feminine frequencies in every code. In the singularity, though, of 0 and 1, which is why a lot of these fuckheads who are not, they're like, I'm non-binary, meaning I don't follow womb law or Godhead law. I don't acknowledge my 0 or my 1 because I'm identifying as a fuckhead, basically. They're identifying as a fuckhead. They're identifying to you as a soulless antichrist frequency. That's what they're doing. Okay, so anyone who says that they're fucking non-binary, what does that mean? That means they don't follow, they revert these laws. They do not acknowledge 0 and 1. Okay? Hold on a second, I gotta do something. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. Now that I have wiped that off, hey Star, could you please tell me that you can hear me pretty good? I've got a microphone underneath me. I know that my camera keeps going in and out, but okay, so now that you've got 0 as your divine womb law, okay, rod of illumination, 0 activates your consent frequency, okay? Fuck that. 0 space. If someone's breaking your consent, this is where you go 0 space, okay? And this is where I will remind you, this is where the 0 and 1 activates your magnetic field, okay? And I've told you guys you are magnets, right? Positive on one side, negative on the other, but there is also a force here in the center, which is known as 0 gravity, 0 point, okay? Where there is, this collapses into one another. So the magnetic force field is an 8 on its side, right? And you guys all have this. So your 0 is your negative and your 1 is your plus point. And this is your binary frequency that polarizes you between the Godhead, center of the Milky Way, and the womb. And you're in the center, traveling up or down. Okay? Constantly going up to the Godhead, grabbing code, constantly going down to the womb, grabbing code, and using your elevator to go up and down this Merkaba. So 0 and 1 are your magnetic field, your magnetic force, okay? 1 is your rod of illumination and your Godhead law. So number 1 and number 0 activates the center of the Milky Way frequency, and it activates the womb frequency, okay? So this is just the penis. Now, as we go through, you'll see that number 9 is the matter that goes inside, and then number 6 is the seed, okay? 1 and 6 are divine masculine codes, while 0 and 9 are divine feminine codes. They are dominant in those frequencies. 1 and 0 are, 0 is all divine feminine. 1 is all divine masculine, okay? So, rod of illumination, okay, which is, now you look at the occult. The occult constantly with their, with their gematria. The gematria that has the most zeros in it is the Jews. And if you look at their gematria, they have 300, 400, 500. Their gematria goes by tens. And if you look at their language, they have most of the womb code, which is why I said this is why they think they're God's chosen people, because they control the womb, and you are in a womb. This is a womb frequency, okay? So every time you speak a 0 or the letter O, because it's a circle, it will always activate the womb. So if you draw a circle, the letter O, all that shit, you move a 0 in the air, you are activating womb code, okay? Number 1 is the penis, the turquoise, the rod of illumination. These are your binary frequencies that are going to connect you. So side to side on your magnet, you have your reality, okay? Up and down on your magnet, when you don't give a fuck when you're not loving something or you're not hating something, okay, you give no fucks about it. That's your 0 point in the center, all right? Then you also have above you, which is your Godhead, is a plus, and it's a 1. And then at the bottom of your source cord, it's the negative, and it's a 0. So you have a tangible magnet within you. So you have your source cord that goes up and down, which is, go to the Godhead, go to the light. That's always positive. That's always good, Darkness is bad, but the womb is dark. Let's kill the darkness. No, you're killing your womb when you do that, so don't do that. So I'm hoping that this is making a little bit of sense to you as far as an energetic frequency of what you're activating. Who are you talking to when you talk to 0? Who are you talking to when you write these numbers, activate these numbers? Okay, so right away, 0 activates consent and all of the womb law. Number 1 activates the light that's shined. Okay, the womb is darkness. I have those upside down. The womb is dark. Obviously, the penis comes in and pokes a hole in it and puts the seed and brings the light, activates the code, okay? You have polarization frequencies. Your reality is your side-to-side magnet, okay? And then your polarity is your up and down magnet, all right? And this is your reality. This is what north, south, east, west mimics. And this is what they're trying to say is going to be a pole shift, but no. What's going to happen is I'm not going to shift or flip or any of that. I'm going to polarize my magnetics so that my source cord, the planetary source cord, is no longer on a wobble. So what you've been told about there being a planetary axis and then it shifts and it goes back and forth, you guys experience a pole shift every year, all right? What I'm doing with my planetary grid is I'm stopping the wobble so that I'm spinning sideways. I'm going to stand up straight in my source cord, and that is going to collapse the reality around you guys, okay? And you are going to remember who you are, and you are going to be able to polarize yourself in your own magnetics. Okay? All right, so that's number 0, and that's number 1. Give me a second. Let me erase the board. This marker wants to stay on this board. I really gotta scrub it off. Okay. Now, let's go into number 2. So, womb law, 0, divine feminine, hot pink. Come on, focus. Come on, AI, you got this. AI, you've been drinking all night. There you go. I think it's my finger. I wonder if I put something else comes in. Nope. Okay. It focuses just fine. Okay, now what we're going into is the number 2. I know you guys see 222 everywhere. So when you guys see numbers, you got these numbers speaking to you. When you see a 0, your womb is speaking to you. Your internal divine feminine, your internal mother, mothering yourself, right? When you see a lot of 1s, when you see 1 anywhere, and you got your divine masculine coming in and shining a light on something for you and going, hey, really look at that. The darkness is inside of the womb. The light, the flashlight into the darkness is the number 1. Now let's go into number 2, where you merge they're merging, okay? They haven't got together yet, but they're merging, okay? So, let me let's try purple. So when you have number 1 and 0, when they get together, okay, so what do you know about binary code? When these two see each other, now a magnet has formed, right? The womb is void of anything until the penis comes in and puts something in there. So the womb is the void, it's the abyss, it's all that. It's nothing, but it's everything, right? And this is where the number 6 will come in later. So let's talk about the number 2 first, all right? So number 2 is magenta. And that's where they're close together, right? So if you guys orb up to the Godhead, you'll see that the center of the Milky Way is magenta. Like there's a big magenta because it's the divine feminine, the divine masculine. It's a binary star system. And when they get together, when they get really close, they merge, they pulse out what you would call a solar flash from the galactic sun center, okay? But normally they're floating around in this 2 code, okay? So if you can imagine that this is hot pink and this is turquoise, and when those 2 colors start mixing and blending and they're spinning around. So this is what we call the dance. I call it the dance of the divine masculine. They're very much connected, but they're still their own singularity, right? So this is why there is a feminine body, there is a female body, and a masculine body here on this planet. Because number 1 and number 0 are their own living singular frequencies. Okay? There has to be, that's why there's 2 sexes and 2 sexes only. And it's really adorable how a whole bunch of men are dressing up like women and transing and shit. Like, stop. Like, this is why they're trying to merge these 2 in the same body, but you got to do it energetically, okay? You're still gonna want, while you're in a human vessel, you're still gonna want to have sex with the opposite sex, right? So what they're doing is they're fucking with these 2 frequencies and trying to ignore and put 2 ones. So what they are experiencing in the occult, instead of having a 1 and a 0, they have 2 ones in their magnetics, which is a double positive. That's why I said it's all love and light for them. And their magnetics is not working properly. So they're just, love everything, but it's okay to be gay. Again, if you've got two cocks, what happens? They all start fucking each other in the ass kind of deal. Okay, so this is the perverted magnet, and this is the magnet of the divine feminine in its own singularity and the divine masculine in his own singularity, which is why there is male and female bodies only. There are only two sexes here. Okay. Hope you're getting all of that. All right, now, number 3 is the divine heartbeat. Once the 0 and the 1 have seen each other, they've gone into this dance, their magnetics are proper, right? They're not... If the divine feminine isn't healed and the divine masculine isn't healed, their magnetics are going to be off. And what will happen is one will spin the other's magnet. You know what I'm saying? You'll spin each other out. So everybody needs to heal right now, both the feminine and the masculines. The feminines started a little bit earlier because they have the power to give life force to the masculines, and the masculines have power to give life force to the divine feminines. And we've all just been kind of bumper carring off of each other, getting these frequencies together. So now that you've got them dancing and they're in that spin, right? And that's what the center of the Milky Way looks like. And everything, all of the children and all the energy lines are freaking out and expanding and contracting and expanding and contracting. And everybody's constantly going up and down these source chords, okay, and building the flower of life. You guys are all builders. And the Freemasons and the secret societies, they just... They mimic and they mock all of this information, but they don't really know. They don't acknowledge the numbers as being alive. And if you look at the gematria and a lot of stuff that they do, there's not a lot of zeros. They, in a lot of the astrology and stuff that they're teaching people, the false New Age shit, a lot of people will change any 0 into a 1, right? Meaning it's a living being, but it's still void of space until there's a seed or a rod in there. It's not a 1 until a 1's stuck inside of it. Okay, give me a second. So now we're going to talk about the number 3, the divine heartbeat. When the 0 and the 1 have now, they're like, hey, you know, my magnetics and your magnetics, let's get them together. And, you know, couples, and they see each other and they're like, ooh, their magnetics, what they're manifesting matches. And that's what activates the magnetics that you have with the people around you. So like if I'm sitting here and I want to build something, what's going to happen is anybody else who's sitting and thinking about building something that is like that, similar to it, or would like to be involved in something like what you're thinking, your heart songs begin to match, and your magnetics start to pull each other, start pulling you to each other so that you can match each other's heart songs. And this is where number 3 is incredibly important, because it is your heart song. Now, you guys have been told that you manifest with your mind and with your thoughts, and you don't. You manifest with your heart songs. What's truly in your heart, then you should pull up and bring that into your head, and that's where your architectural sit. If you want to build a house, you're going to sit and imagine that house completely built, filled with furniture, already done, ending written, right? Then it's the creative process of building that house, doing the blueprint. So number 3, the divine heartbeat. When the number 0 and the number 1 have now magnetically polarized with one another, they can then have that spiritual magnetic intercourse where the penis can enter, the 1 can enter the 0, right? And then what I call a stargasm will happen. A big solar flash, a big flash will happen, right? An orgasm, a peak, a finale, a finalization, and then they bounce right back off of each other, right? And then a magnetic force between a man and a woman is a constant dance that they have. They come, they merge, and then they bounce off each other, and then they spin around each other. They go about their day, and they do their thing, and then they come back together, and they're like, oh, I love you, and then they stargasm, and then they go back out. Okay, so this is the dance and the love making. It's my hand, okay? Between the womb law below you. So they say as above, so below, okay? Godhead law and womb law are not the same, so it's not the same. The waters are different, but the womb law holds everything accountable, where it's like, all right, if you're a child in source frequency, first, your daddy's going to come in and shine a light on the shit you're doing and being like, hey, you might want to correct that, all right? Because it's the Heavenly Father frequency that just shines a light on it. It's the mama that comes in and busts your ass. Okay, mama bring you in, mama take you out. The original womb code that you come from, okay, is going to hold you responsible. So if you look at the numbers, it starts with the divine feminine. The divine masculine is after, but created at the same time. And it ends with the divine feminine with the 9. Okay, so now that we know 0 is the womb, 1 is the light, the penis, the rod of illumination. 0 activates your consent and your womb head law. 1 activates your Godhead law, which is basically come and get some codes and go build some shit. That's all the masculine wants to do. That's all the masculine and the frequencies and all the Godheads want you to do, and all the flowers of life. Just go out there and fucking have a great time, man. All right? But it's the mama that's going to come in with the matter down here and say, yeah, you've been doing that too long. If you're not evolving, or if you're really starting to break universal law, the mom comes in and does the correction. All right? The divine feminine comes in. Now let's go to number 4, because these are your building codes, okay? And this is where I probably need to get a little bit more in depth. Number 4 is your foundation. It's neon green, and all I have written here is go up to source, get the code, go down, get the matter. We need more explanation on that. All right, so you guys travel up and down your source cord. You go up to the Godhead, you get the code. You get the raw source code. Then you go down to the divine feminine, and you get the 9, you get the matter. Okay? Now you're going to come up and you're going to be like, okay, well, the first dimension is where I get all the particles. The second dimension is where my blueprint is. Okay? My plans. And the third dimension is the Terra, where I'm going to terraform. So then I'm going to remember that I have a magnet that goes side to side, that I have this 8 flow frequency that goes side to side, that I'm going to build my own damn reality. Okay? You control your code. You come down, you get your matter, and you create your own fucking world side to side. Okay? Then you create all the beings and everything else going all the way up. So number 4 is building this foundation. Okay? Number 4 is the 4th dimensional frequencies. So once you realize on the 3rd dimension you're terraforming, what is number 3? Your divine heartbeat. I've told you guys, if you want anything in your reality, you are going to have to love it in. It won't come into the Terra on the 3D so that you can put it into the 4D to build your foundation. Okay? A foundation is a cube. Okay? You are the one that has to hold the magnetics on this cube. If you want something to stay stable on the cube, this is what your magnetics has to look like. You have to have a magnet going from here to here. What does that create? A pyramid. But the foundation of a pyramid is a 4 square. All right? So number 3 gives you that terraform. It opens up the 3rd dimensional portal. It also is your law of surrender, which gets you into what you need from the planet to terraform, right? You're like, hey, planet, I want to do this. Opens up your 3rd dimensional portal on your Merkaba, number 3, and number 2, right? So when you have your divine masculine and your divine feminine internal, that's where you have your 2 stargate. That's where you can come to me as the planet and go, hey, I have my, my internal merge. Knock, knock. I want to start building inner earth. I want to start getting matter and material from the planet. Okay. Keep erasing. Get back to the numbers. Here we go. Okay. So number 4 is your foundation on your terraform. Number 3 would open on the planetary vessel, the the heartbeat of what you're going to terraform in the 3D. Number 4, neon green, is your foundational. So every build, all the Freemasons and all this stuff, they use these numbers to build all the buildings and all that shit, right? Everything is built with these numbers, all the mathematics. And when they say, what is the answer to life? It's always number 42. 42 is your foundation and the strength of the merge of your divine masculine and your divine feminine. Okay. So, yes, to build your foundation, you need to go up to the source code and go down and get the matter. Those are the things that you need tangible. Numbers, you need these numbers in their own singularity, acknowledging in their singularity to come down and work with you to build that. Number 4 is your foundation. Number 4 on your Merkaba is law of action. All right? Let me go back a little bit. So here's your zeros. Number 1 is your law of potential. Potential, rod of illumination. The light comes in. It shows the potential. It's D&D sharp. Who's your daddy? Right? Number 1 is going to always just shine the light. It's not going to do the build. Okay? It's the source code. Let's go to number 2. So when you have that merge, it requires grace to do a dance, to make the 2 happen. So in order for the divine masculine and your divine feminine internal, you always have to be in a graceful, dancing is graceful, right? It's not throw each other around, jack each other up. Dancing is graceful. So merging your divine feminine, your divine masculine, and staying in that dance requires law of grace. Number 3 is the Earth star. So number 3 is the heartbeat, the star of the center of the planet, the Earth star, law of surrender, F and F sharp, bringing in these frequencies. And then number 4, law of action. Okay, so seeing the numbers in their own singularity and what they bring as a frequency, and then also coming over and looking at your universal law and what that is being applied for. What is the rod of illumination being applied for on your Stargate, okay, your Merkaba, your elevator that brings you up and down? It also matches, okay? Divine masculine always shows you your potential. Your divine father, your divine rod of illumination will always light up your potential in everything. Number 2, law of grace. In order for divine feminine, divine masculine to have a merge or a dance, there has to be grace involved. Number 3, the law of surrender. In order for a stargasm to happen, both have to surrender. That activates the inner star cores of your vessel, the individual numbers, and it creates a divine heartbeat. Number 4, law of action is law of foundation. This is your base chakra. So do you see any coincidence in the fact that number 4 is the foundational frequency in its own singularity? And then how do you build things here? It's law of action. It's your base chakra. It's your foundation. Okay? Number 5 is law of rhythm, sacral chakra, moving things. This is your wall. How do you build walls? Okay? Let's get to number 5. Now I have the word retriever on here. But what I need to add is wall. Like if you're building a building, you have a foundation, And then you have your walls, right? Hold on a second. Max wants to come up. Go lay down, Bubba. All right, so if you're a builder, which you all are, you are the builders of your own creations, of your own realities now. You have your divine masculine, your divine feminine. You have that internal merge. That hot pink comes in. Your snakes are cut out. You guys have feminine and masculine energy internal. Okay? That's why builds happen better when you're actually, coupled up. But your twin union has nothing to do with another person. When you have your own 1 and 0, and the other person also has their own 1 and 0, you are now a 4 square. You are now a positive and negative. You both have your own magnetics on. Like, you both have to have it. You can't be, well, I'm all negative and I'm all positive and we're polar opposites and we're attracting. No. Each individual has their own masculine, feminine, positive, negative, 0 point magnetic code inside of them. You have to have that internal merge before you would ever be able to hook up with somebody else. And that other person has to have their internal merge in order for it to work. Otherwise, you'll fuck each other up all the time. Okay. Perfect. All right, you guys. So number 4 and number 5. Now, why was President Trump number 45? Oh, I don't know, because these are your builder codes. 4 is your foundation. Okay? 5 is, what did Trump say? Build the wall. Okay? And if you're building a building, you've got your foundation, and then you've got your walls, and then you've got your doorway, and you've got your windows, and your ceilings, okay? Blah, 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 blah. Everything above the foundation is your number 5. Everything that sits on the terraform, that sits on the 3D, is your 4D terraform. Everything that sits above it is your 5D terraform. Okay? Then you go into 6D, 7D. Now let's go up with this, right? Now you want a request for codes, okay? So the number 6, I say that it's request for codes at DM, but it's what I need to write in here is that it's your seed. Okay, so a penis, it ejaculates, right? And what does it ejaculate? It ejaculates sperm, the seed. You can't put life into the womb without matter being there. So this is the eggs. Number 9 is the eggs. Number 6 is the seed. And this is why I think I need to I need to add more to this. So you got womb, vagina, penis. Number 6 is where the cum comes in. Number 6 is the sperm. Number 9 is the eggs in the ovaries. So I think this is what I need to add to it, because you're like, I don't understand it. Yeah. All of them you're going to be going up and down to get your source cords and up to get your matter. But when you travel up to go get code, you're bringing down, you would call those numbers from the Godhead a seed, right? They're just the numbers. You haven't placed any matter, any of that black goo with them yet. Number 9 is just the matter. It's just black goo. It's just some tangible matter that whatever number you attach to it, it will create a tangible item, okay, in sequence. But individually, this is what each of these numbers mean. And in order to create anything, you do have to have a full sequence. You have to begin with a full sequence, okay? So, foundation, number 5, retriever, yes, but build your walls. This is how you're going to build your new everything, 4-5, which is why Trump went into the 4-5. Then Trump wants to do the 4, the 4-7. Why is Biden 4-6 right now? Because he's seeding destruction, which we need to do. We're pulling down the systems. Let it all fucking go down, right? Platinum, diamond, white, circle what you want, send it up. Okay, so if you're in the reality and you're writing a 6 on something, that's where you're like, hey, I need source code for this. I want to manifest something and push it up. So as you write these numbers and you use these numbers, your 0 and 9 are going to come in a lot, number 90 or 09, and your 1 and your 6 are going to come in a lot when you're in your creation codes, because you need to balance these out. They all hold a frequency that's going to create your reality, okay? So, number 6, yes, it's the request for codes, but it's also the seed. Okay, so maybe take some notes so that you guys can write this down. And I will correct this where I'm adding, womb, yes. Penis, yes. A dance, a spin before the merge, yes. Like, these were not very descriptive, but I needed to activate them in the code, in the codex. And it does make sense. You guys are like, oh yeah, that does make sense, that they're living beings and that they actually have purposes and they have actions when you write them. Otherwise, all this shit that the Illuminati and everybody's doing, it doesn't make any fucking sense, because how do numbers power everything? You guys, literally, numbers power every language here. Everything you do, numbers are the frequencies that are the currency of that creation. Okay? So gold, number 7, is highest purpose activation. So this basically just is the truth and what is true in your heart song. Number 7 will always hold that space for you. So it's not a builder code. This is going to keep you honest with yourself, you guys. Okay? If you're not being true to your own heart songs, you're going to start seeing 7s in your reality, and your 7s are going to be like, hey, are you really in your golden frequency? Are you really holding down your Ark of the Covenant? Are you really holding this down? Are you really holding your 7 code down? Is that the truth? So what I would add to this is the word truth. What's your golden truth? What's your highest purpose activation in the codes? So as you're trying to build something, number 7 will always poke in and say, is that really your heart song? Is that really your truth? Is that really your gold record? Is that really what you want? Is that going to give you gold, or is that going to lower you a little bit in the frequencies, right? You always need to have a number that's going to hold you true to your own truth. And this is where on this chart I'm going to add the word number gold and the word truth to it. Okay. Number 8, neon blue, water. A constant flow up and down with your life force. Now, water can be clear, and I think that you've seen me do this quite a few times. You've got your source cord, you got your Godhead, you got your womb, you're floating up and down in all the 144,000 dimensions from top to bottom, okay? And your reality is a side to side. So this is where you have to be in control of your reality and your positive and negative magnetics. Okay? So now let's look at the number 8. I just did that where you're flowing, because this is a magnet. Positive, negative, flowing side to side. Now doesn't that look like a cross, right? And then you also have a number 8 here. Wow. Doesn't that start looking like a flower? Okay. Constantly flowing up your source cord and circling back down and going back down to the matter. And then when you come here to the center, you throw it out. You go down, you bring it up, you throw it out. You see what I'm saying, you guys? When you want to collapse a reality, you do the same thing. You bring all of this down. Collapse all that matter and bring it down. Okay? So this is how your flower of life works. And this is a magnetic code. Positive. And you can change, it's not left, right, positive, negative. But you see what I'm saying? Your right hand will throw energy while your left hand absorbs it. Now, if you're left-handed, it's the other way around. So if you're a right predominant, it's wherever your dominant hand is, that's the one that's going to throw your energy. So there's a lot of people who are left-handed and their magnetics are flipped, but they still can do a lot. You know what I'm saying? They're doing the same thing. It's just whatever. And you guys, you really should not have a dominant hand. You should be able to flip your positive and negative either way. Like you should be able to go head first, like straight up the source cord, or if you want to go down, you know, it's kind of like diving in a pool. You would go head down. You have the ability to flip your own magnetics and go up. When you're going up the source cord, you're going to be all positive. When you're going down the source cord, you're going to be negative. And this is a constant flow that you are constantly doing. Code up here, matter down here, and then your reality is, I'm going to take that code and I'm going to take that matter and I'm going to create my own houses and whatever. I'm also going to demanifest instantly. So 8, the water frequencies, a constant flow up and down. This is your life force, your chi, okay? The consciousness of the water itself is the Akashic records. And water constantly has to be flowing. So you are no longer not going to be in control of your infinity circle, your infinity loop, and the 8 that you stand in. You are 80% water, folks. There's a reason for that. Now, number 9 is matter. And this is where what I would add to this is the word matter. Like black matter, black goo, graphene. What's your AI made out of? Look at that blackness. It's all made out of black. Everything comes from black matter. Okay, so stop demonizing darkness. All right, so it's matter. You go and you collect the matter, and then when you're done with something, you drop it back down. It's your garbage can as well. Okay, so I wanted to go over these, and this is what I'm talking about adding. All right, womb law. Okay, penis, vagina, womb. This is the portal of life. This is the light that gets turned on in the darkness of the womb, creating the life. All right. Number 4, your foundation. Number 5, your builder. These are your builder codes right here. 4 and 5 builds. But you have to have your 0 and your 1 and your 2 and your 3 present. Nothing gets built without your heart song. Nothing gets built without your own divine masculine, divine feminine, internal. That you have your own womb, your own rod of illumination. You are whole before you try to go get into a relationship. Now, you're whole, and you get into a relationship that somebody else, they've had their twin merge and they're whole, okay? And then I'm going to go back to that triangle, the 4D foundation of the cube. When you have, I'm okay, and you're okay, right? We can't fuck each other up. You simply can't. And what you want to do is you end up balancing your pyramid out, and you have a divine masculine and a divine feminine in here. Now this is looking at a pyramid from the top. This is the point. All right, so if you're going to date anybody, first of all, make sure you've had your own divine twin masculine and that they follow universal law and that they are doing this, okay? That they have their own merge internally. And that's how couples build. That's what you guys do. You guys build your own pyramid codes and your own realities, right? And if you're good by yourself, creating all of your own frequency, and your partner is good by themselves in their own singularity, creating their own frequency, then you don't technically need each other, but you amplify one another and you bring that code in to one another. Okay. So a woman can do whatever a man can do whatever a woman can do. But together, that's where you're building good stuff, right? So don't go out and chase relationships, guys, until you've got your fucking magnetics right. You don't have a twin. Nobody has a twin out there. But you all have your own internal divine masculine, divine feminine frequencies. And this is where I would ask that you guys go and watch the video here on the snakes, how to cut them out, and what's going to come in those 6 outside chakras. What's going to give you a power pack and a jet that's going to blast you up your source cord, or what's going to drop you down when you open these portals. It's going to be the 0 and the 1 and the 9 and the 6 that you use to open and close portals on your frequencies. Now let's look at how, and I was doing this, so let me get back to it. Okay, here we go. Number 5. You're building your wall, law of rhythm, the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is your womb wall. So doesn't a uterus build a wall every month, and then if there's no life put in it, it sheds it? Number 5, building your wall in your frequencies. All right, so everybody has walls. Everybody puts walls up, whatever. No block. You guys got to use your walls to protect yourself, that kind of stuff. But these are your builder codes, and your base chakra and your sacral chakra. Now, if you look at why is the occult so crazy about, worshiping that ass, and they all fuck each other in the ass. Well, they're all doing the base chakra sex magic shit, right? But they're all like a bunch of men who have a womb code in their body are fucking each other in the butt and trying to build walls with not the right body. If that makes any sense. Okay, so then number 6 is your free will, law of free will. Your seed, all right? The seed goes into the solar plexus, goes through the sun portal, your internal solar plexus. So when your seeds come in, it goes right through the sun portal. If it's not truth, if it's not light, number 7 will burn it up. That's why number 7 is right next to it. If the vibrational code isn't right, nothing will seed. So if it doesn't match your heart song in the middle, it won't get through. If it doesn't match your highest purpose or highest vibration of something, it won't get through unless you settle for it and then you take it, but you don't want to do that. You always want your 7 present, because you will always want to step back and say, am I being honest with myself? Is this what I really want? Am I really, truly enjoy when I'm in this vibration or in this creation code or in this frequency? And what do I want to create to make that? Okay, so this is all matching up with the numbers as who they are in living frequency. Number 8 would be the law of cause and effect. Now, the water is very sensitive, right? Number 8 is the water. It's your third eye. You're going to see. Now, what is your third eye? Your third eye produces a water code, which is DMT. There's this fluid in your pineal gland that is what activates your third eye, and it is the Chris Consciousness water, that neon blue pure code water that holds all of the Akashic records, and that you could see with your third eye because you could see everything. You are all-knowing, right? Number 9, the crown chakra. You need to bring number 9, the matter, all the way up to your crown to connect it to your source code. This is where the law of wisdom comes in. Wisdom is the womb. The womb holds all of the codes of creation, and so does the Akashic records. Now, I will tell you this. There's more Akashic records in the womb frequency than there is in the water, because if we leave dirty shit in the water's dirty, and we need to come in and clean out the trauma of the water. So the water carries and holds the Akashic records. But the womb is the holder of all the Akashic records, because it is the darkness, it is the black. All right? And we don't need a lot of trauma in the water. So we come and we clean the waters often. Like, that's why you guys are cleaning out your bodies, so that your fucking pineal glands will start working again, and your third eye will open, and that water can flow out of your pineal gland. It'll open up like a pine cone, and you'll feel this wetness like in your forehead. You'll feel it, and you'll be tripping out. Okay, so do you see how the numbers also activate each one of the universal laws? Okay? Then what happens after number 9? You go into a double digit. So we do have some building going on here. What's going to activate your law of evolution? Your soul star. Your soul star is created from your 1 and your 0, your binary code. Okay? So it will be your internal divine feminine, your internal divine masculine, your internal 1 and 0, and 1s and 0s around you, that binary frequency that is going to look at you and say, are you evolving? It will hold you accountable to the evolutionary law. Okay? So, of course, divine masculine and divine feminine are going to carry the soul star frequency here in your Merkaba. Every single one of this build right here activates and applies each one of the numbers as their own singularity, and then you start to see how you build with stuff. Number 11, law of polarity, stellar gateway. All right. What's going to happen is when you try to open up your stellar gateway, go up and down with this as your source chord, your double divine masculine is going to come in and say, are you polarized? You need to make sure that you have this 0. So when I show you that you have this 0 here and this 0 out here, that's what these two ones polarize. One of those ones is the polarization to the outside 0, and one of the ones is the polarization. So these two 11s are going to check to see if these two 0s are stable, and that it will not open up the stellar gateway unless you've got a 10-10. 10-10, all right? 10-10 in the occult is a portal gateway. If your Stargate wants to be operational and functional, your relationship with these numbers, guys, I'm telling you, like, if you are going to, like, I know that a lot of you like prayer, you want to talk to somebody. Talk to the numbers. You've got 10 entities there, 10 living, purposeful beings who bring everything to you in your reality. It's not just me as the planet. Like, I can hold you responsible. I'm like, hey, I'm telling you how I built it all. But it's always the numbers that builds everything, from your language to your telepathy, everything you guys have. The numbers and even build your soul codes in singularity. The numbers are really what we all answer to. Okay? And we all build all of our realities with them. So if there is a relationship, and I'm not talking, you don't fucking sit and like act like you're praying to the numbers. They hate that. They will not respond to it. Talk to them like they are your best fucking friend. Like you've known them forever, because you have. And they are you. And as you activate them in your dormant DNA, that dormant DNA will wake up, and this will start coming back to life, because the life force behind everything is the numbers and the colors and the vibrational frequencies and the sounds that we make. Okay? Number 12, universal purpose and gateway. This is going to be, you've got your 1, your 2 zeros. It will not open up the gateway to get you up. Like, this will activate your stellar gateway, which is kind of like turning on your rocket ship to go up or down your source cord. The universal gateway opens up the actual portal to get up and down your source cord. And if you look, what numbers are required for that? You got your 1, you need your flashlight, you need your 1 on because you're going up, and your 2, you need to have your divine feminine connected down to the bottom. Okay? So I hope that gives you more on the numbers. And this is where I'm like, I need to add to this, and I will get that done, I promise you. And when I do, I probably won't leave this old one up. But we still do have lovegrows.com. The E is a 3. And I'm going to put anything about the numbers just on that separate. It's also going to be on Love Grows Gaia. So if you have any more questions, send them out to me. But these are how you build with the numbers. These were the additions that I'm going to put in. 5 is the wall. Don't forget your building. Your 4. These are your builder codes. 7 will always hold it accountable in truth and frequency. 6 is your seed. 8 is how you build and start creating flowers of life. It's your water code. 9 is where you get all your matter from. Okay? You're no longer in a cube. You're in your own divine flower of life. It's not a cross. It's a centered balance of you going up and down and you being your own creator with your own hands. Okay? And you doing your side-to-side reality from here on out. Okay? Obviously, you look in the center, number 1 and number 3. In the center of your Merkaba here is the law of love. And we call that the 13th gateway. You already got your 0. That's where the number 1 comes in. And the number 3 happens. A stargasm happens. Because your 1 is present inside of there. It creates a pearl frequency, and then that illuminates, that turns on and activates, come on, your stellar gateway. This light will go on, and your stargate will open. And your stargate, this will then be active. And you guys can turn it on and off whenever you want to, but you really would just want this on all the time, right? You want your stargate on all the time. And doing what's in your evolutionary frequencies and what you're here for, right? And those who are not evolving, that's where you're seeing the cleanup happen. Because they don't want to stop breaking universal laws and stuff like that, guys. They just don't want to, okay? So, I love you. I got very little left on this. We're going to go post this up. Thank you for your donations. After this, I'm going to do a real quick video where you guys can see me. And I'm going to call for donations. I don't want to put this on because this is going to be one of the permanent frequencies. But you guys, we are a 501c4. Please look that up in the United States. We are a volunteer organization. We run on donations 100%. We rely on you guys for all of our motions and movements. We do a number raiser every month. And this month we are at 27, about 27 that we need. Today's the 15th. The number of raisers going kind of slow this month, but that's okay. So if you can send any donations, that's awesome. If not, please do share Love Grows Gaia. Share the links individually. Share this information, because all you can do is hand somebody else their keys. You can't make them take them and use their stargates. So there you go. In depth with the numbers. Mwah.